Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And inshallah, we are going to have our practice session of Jumlatul Ismiya. I have I have already shared this practice sheet with you, and I hope that you have tried to, inshallah, label all of them. In this video, inshallah, I will go through all of these examples one by one, and I want you to make sure, inshallah, that you have done them in the right way. Okay, Bismillah. Ulaika ala hudam min rabbihim. Now, ulaika is what? Is ismul ishara. And when your sentence begins with ismul ishara, it's going to be jumlatul ismiya. Why? Because it is ism. Secondly, ismul ishara is becoming your mubtada, and it is in the bucket of one word mubtada, because you remember in the bucket of one word mubtada you have 5 things: a clear one word and also other 4 things, and one of them is ismul ishara. So ulaika, we will label ulaika as your mubtada. MB means mubtada. Okay, and now what is after it? Ala. What is ala? Ala is a preposition. So we know that if ala is a preposition, it means that what is gonna come after ala? There will be ism in jar status. So basically these two things together, they are jar. Ala is jar or preposition, and huda or hudan is your ism in jar status. And because hudan is, remember, hudan is one of those words which are mabni. You cannot see their i'rab or status from their look, but you know, technically speaking, because of preposition, hudan is in jar status, even though you can't look it, because hudan is mabni, and mabni isms, they don't tell you from their look if they are in what status. So ala and hudan, I will call it muta'alliq bil khabar. MBK, muta'alliq bil khabar. Okay, what is after that? Min. What is min? Once again, min is a preposition. Okay, because of min, the next thing will be in jar status. So we know that this part is a jar majroor preposition, and its victim or ism in jar status. So this part is again a MBK. So we got, in this example, we got 2 muta'alliq bil khabar. Okay, that's one point. But I want you to zoom in to this one, Rabbi him, Rabbi and him. Remember this point. Whenever you see attached pronoun, because Rabbi and him, these are 2 words, Rabbi and him. Now, whenever you see attached pronoun, as you see here, him, you will look at what it is attached with. If it is attached with the ism, that will be the case of mudaf mudaf ilay. And Rabbi is ism. How do I know? I know in 2 ways. By look, Rabbi, it has kasra at the end. Those words which end with kasra, they are always ism. So Rabbi is ism. And other sign is, you know the meaning. Rabb means master, and master is a noun. Okay, so Rabbi is your ism, and him is the attached pronoun. Whenever pronoun is attached with the ism, that is the case of mudaf mudaf ilay. So inside this is your mudaf mudaf ilay. Mudaf mudaf ilay. What is mudaf? Rabbi part is mudaf and him part is mudaf ilay. But as a total, min and Rabbi him, they are, because min is the preposition and Rabbi him part is the ism in jar status. But Rabbi him part was also consisting of 2 parts. We analyze this part separately, but in a big scheme of picture, ulaika is your mubtada, ala hudan muta'alliq bil khabar. Why? Because it is jar majroor. Min Rabbi him is also jar majroor, so muta'alliq bil khabar. Now let's translate it. Ulaika means those, and right after mubtada you're gonna put your is, am, are. So ulaika, those are, ala hudan, upon guidance, min rabbihim, min means from, rabbihim, their master. Those are upon guidance from their master. In this sentence, You do not have a khabar. All you have is your mubtada and two mutalliq bil khabar. And you remember this point, if you have mubtada and your khabar is missing, but if you do have mutalliq bil khabar, you can call them as khabar and you label them as shibhul jumla. So this one and this one can be called mutalliq bil khabar. They can also be called shibhul jumla khabar number 1 ala hudan and shibhul jumla khabar number 2 min rabbihim. So it's correct both ways. Either you only call them mutalliq bil khabar number 1, mutalliq bil khabar number 2. It's correct. Or you can call them shibhul jumla khabar 1, shibhul jumla khabar 2. Clear? Now let's analyze the second sentence. Okay. Let me just make it a little bit more clear for you. Ulaika humul muflihun. Again, ulaika is your ismul ishara. So ulaika part will become your mubtada, MB, mubtada. Okay. By the way, I'm just calling it MB. Okay, you can call anything, but you should know it is mubtada. Okay. After this, what you have? Hum. Now remember this point we discussed in our lessons. After your mubtada, please pay attention. After your mubtada, if you have an independent pronoun, which is whom in this case, it is the sign that in this example, your khabar will be a complete sentence. Because remember, khabar has three forms. One word khabar, a complete sentence khabar, and shibhul jumla khabar. Whenever after mubtada, you have independent pronoun, this is the sign that your khabar will be a complete sentence khabar, which is this complete thing is going to be your khabar, and you can call it KB, khabar. Okay. Now let's analyze this hum al-muflihun on its own. So ulaika is mubtada, humul muflihuna, the whole thing is your khabar. Inside humul muflihuna, hum part is serving as mubtada or MB, and al muflihuna part is serving as your khabar part. You can call it KB, and this is the case of one word khabar. So hum is mubtada, al muflihuna al khabar. That is the analysis of this thing on its own. But in a big scheme of picture, ulaika is mubtada and humul muflihuna, complete sentence, is your khabar. Let's translate it. Ulaika, those are. Right after mubtada, we will put is amar. Those are. Hum, they. Al muflihuna, successful. They are the ones. This, how did I get this one from? Just to make the sense of the sentence. There's no ones here. Okay. Ulaika, those are. Humul muflihuna, they are successful. As you can see, hum and muflihuna is a complete sentence on its own. Hum means they, al muflihuna, successful. They are successful. Those are, they are successful, or those are the ones, they are successful. Now, as you can see, that after mubtada, the rest of the thing is a complete sentence serving as khabar, and inside this complete sentence, the first part is again mubtada, and the next part is khabar. Okay, let's inshallah move on to our next example. Lahum azabun alimun. Okay, let's look at the first part. Lahum. Lam is of harf jar, and hum, whenever you have harf jar, the next thing will be ism in jar status. Okay. Sometime you, after preposition, sometime you get a clear ism, and sometime you get attached pronoun. but in both cases, lam is the preposition or jar and hum part is the majroor part. Okay, so this thing is a jar majroor part. So as we know, jar majroor and special mudaf, these two phrases we call them mutaalliq bil khabar. So this is your mutaalliq bil khabar part. Okay, but inside of it we know that this lam part is your jar or preposition, and this hum part is the majroor part or ism in jar status. Clear? Now this part is done. Azabun, azabun, this tanween is telling you that this is a ism because only ism has tanween. Azabun, it's a singular ism in rafa status. In singular ism in rafa status, it will serve as your mubtada because this is the first ism coming into coming in the sentence in rafa status. So when you get this one, you call it as your mubtada or MB, you can call it for the sake of simplicity. Okay, alimun. Now azabun alimun, alimun means painful. As you can see from the translation, and inshallah our vocabulary will be inshallah building with the passage of time. Let's learn at this stage one vocabulary. Alimun means painful, azabun means punishment, painful punishment. As soon as you say painful punishment, what you learn is that this alimun part, this alimun part is actually the sifa part. Okay, and sifa means description or adjective. Which means that this azabun part is serving as what? Azabun part is serving as your mawsoof. Because we know this thing that mawsoof and sifa, we have learned this in our previous lesson. So what we are seeing here is that lahum part is your mubtada, azabun part is your khabar. Mistake. Lahum part is your mutaalliq bil khabar. Why? Because it is jar majroor, and azabun is your mubtada. Okay. After that, even though you have alimun, but alimun will not become anything else. Rather, alimun is only describing as adjective of azabun. Okay, so alimun will not become your khabar. Why? Because azabun is only being described by the word alimun. So that's why we call them mawsoof sifa. Okay, and you remember khabar. Please pay attention. As khabar has three buckets: one word khabar, complete sentence khabar, and shibhul jumla khabar. In the case of one word khabar, it has, in the bucket of one word khabar, you have up to three things: a clear one word, or a mawsoof sifa, or mudaf mudaf ilayh. This is the case of mawsoof sifa. So it is still in the bucket of one word khabar, but it's a mawsoof sifa khabar. Azabun is the mawsoof. Mawsoof means the ism which is being described, and sifa means description or adjective. Lahum, let's translate now. La means for, hum means them. For them is a painful punishment. For them is a painful punishment. So in this sentence again, you have mutaalliq bil khabar, you have mubtada, but you do not have khabar. Is that right? Now you have the option. You can call mutaalliq bil khabar as your khabar, but you will give it a fancy name. Okay, what's the fancy name? Shibhul jumla. So lahum can be called only mutaalliq bil khabar, but it can also be called in this case shibhul jumla khabar. Why? Because your actual khabar is missing. Clear? Let's move on to the next example. Inna ma'akum. Inna. Remember this? We have learned in the lessons already. Inna. It's actually two words. What are those two words? Let me explain for you because it's coming first time. This inna is actually inna plus na. These two things together have become inna. Okay. Now, Remember, we discussed that your mubtada part sometimes start with inna. So inna is telling you it's a jumlatul ismiya. Point number one. Point number two, right after inna or any word from the family of inna. Remember the family of inna? Inna, ka'anna, bi'anna, layta, lakinna, la'alla, li'anna, bi'anna. All of them are called inna and its sisters. Okay. Now, inna, whenever you have any word from the inna family, right after that, you will get an ism in nasab status. Remember this. Whenever you get a word from inna family, immediately after that, you get ism from in nasab status. Okay. As na. How do I know? Remember, we discussed two charts of pronouns. Independent pronouns, they are all rafa. Attached pronouns, they are either nasab or jar, because they look the same in nasab and jar. The way we distinguish them because of what comes before them. So inna is telling us that here this na, which is attached pronoun, it is in nasab status. How do I know? Because of inna. Job of inna is the ism next to it goes into nasab status. Now let's label this one first. Inna is your mubtada. Okay. And this na, it's side of it, because it is two words. Inna and na. Inna part is mubtada and na part is ism of inna. Ism of inna. Then what is this part? This part is khabar of inna. Khabar of inna. Because in the inna sentences, we first have this word from the inna family. That word becomes your mubtada. And then you have ism of inna and khabar of inna. Now, this khabar of inna, let's zoom into this khabar of inna. Let's zoom into this one. Ma'akum. How many words? Ma and kum. Now, read the chart of your special mudaf. In the chart of special mudaf, you have a word ma. Ma means with, and kum means all of you. Kum is attached pronoun. So attached pronoun is kum, and it is attached with who? Attached with the special mudaf. So this ma part is your special mudaf, and this kum part will be mudaf ilay. Remember, this whole thing is a khabar of inna. But when we zoom into this one, just for sake of analysis, we know that ma kum is not one word. It is ma and kum, and it's a special mudaf phrase. Now, you can see that in this case, khabar of inna is a special mudaf phrase. Okay, let's translate it. Inna, indeed I. Indeed I. Ma kum, with you. Indeed I am with you. Inna ma'akum. Indeed I am ma'akum, with you. Okay. Let's inshallah do one more example for today. So, last example of today. Wallahu muhitum bil kafirina. Wow means and. Let's begin. What is after wow? Allahu. We all know word Allahu is a ism. And in what status? Rafa status. How do I know? Because of this Dhamma. So Allahu is a ism in Rafa status. It will become your mubtada. MB. Let's move on. Muhitun. Muhitun is a ism. How do I know? Because of tanween. Because only ism can have tanween. Muhitun part is your ism in Rafa status. you already got your mubtada. If after mubtada you get ism in rafa status, it's most likely going to be your khabar. Okay, so muhitum, this muhitum part will become your khabar. K-B khabar. Khabar means piece of information. Okay, let's keep moving. Bil kafirina. Okay, this bil kafirina part is actually two words, ba and al kafirina. And we know, we have learned this, ba is a preposition, which means that this al kafir, bil kafirina is a preposition and ism in jar status. And we know that this preposition and ism in jar status, we call them prepositional phrase. And in terms of its label, we call it muta'alliq bil khabar. Okay, so this is our muta'alliq bil khabar part. But if when we zoom inside of this, we know that this ba part is the jar. Jar means preposition, and this al kafirina part, is your ism in jar status, and we call it in label majroor. Ba part is jar, al kafirina part is majroor. Jar and majroor together is a prepositional phrase or murakkab jari, and the label of murakkab jari is muta'alliq bil khabar. So in this sentence you got three things, all the three things which you can have in Jumlatul Ismiya. Allahu is mubtada part, muhitun is the khabar part, and bil kafirina is the prepositional phrase muta'alliq bil khabar part. Now let's translate it. And Allah, right after mubtada, you will put is mr. Allah is muhitum, encompassing, bil kafirina literally means with the disbelievers. But just to make sense in the English, you can say Allah is encompassing to the disbelievers. So they are not outside of the domain and the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is encompassing them. Okay, Allahu muhitun, Allah is encompassing the disbelievers. Okay, with this we did the 5 sentences, inshallah. Now every day, inshallah, we'll keep analyzing 5 sentences. Now what I want you to do, inshallah, in the description of this video, download this exercise chart, and after watching the video, now you do the same 5 on your own and try the next 5 as well. Inshallah, in next video I will analyze those next 5 with you, and inshallah in this way slowly we learn. Remember one last point. In this beginner's course, our focus is not too much on analysis. I'm just giving you a bit of taste of what we are learning in our lessons, how to implement that. Inshallah, after Ramadan, when we'll start our next phase, that will be all about practicing. So don't worry, don't be panicked. Inshallah, just be with us and try as much as you can. Inshallah, it will be my job to help you out and to, inshallah, remove any problems from your mind. Bi-iznillahi ta'ala. Until next, jazakumullahu khair. Barakallahu fi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.